Yeah.
Welcome to the Right Read podcast.
For the very first time on the Right Read podcast, some very, very special guests.
Believe that they can still trade Jimmy and beat him.
I think Pat Riley's delusional.
He's
delusional.
Two notorious regular season coasters, playoff Jamal.
Oh my goodness. And just sprinkling Russell Westbrook on top of that.
Oh my goodness. In my room, the swapping starters out for bench platoons. No, I groomed the game the way it grew me. As the exception to the rule, cause I make it hot. A generational talent to some, maybe not. So
They have Wembayama, but we have Dylan Brooks. So
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Poor first 12 games. Last 21 games, he's averaging 1.2 blocks, which is really good. Rim protection as a roamer. Let Şengün roam, and he was guarding the big. He was making some huge blocks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Jabari was playing the best basketball.
Yeah, he definitely was. Because he was.
These contended teams, obviously Tatum on a higher scale because he's also a superstar, but defensively he's a switchable wing that can guard 1 through 5 and rim protect to a certain degree, and he's also a very good rebounder, so it allows the Celtics to do a lot of different things.
Yeah, he's the best role player in the league.
Giannis, and
I forgot about
Tatum and 6. That's it.
I'll be honest, if you're forgetting Tatum, he's better than Tatum. If we're being honest, he's Cat. It'll be 100%. Cat 100%
he's
deserves
playing well.
100%. Cat.
Who's the last fool?
Pascal?
Voting wise, who was the
That's what I'm saying.
front court guy? I'd have to look.
Someone pull it up.
Tatum. What are we doing?
Oh, Tatum. Yeah. We're tweaking. If you forget about Tatum, Wemby's better than him. I'm going to clip both of them together, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Welcome to the Right Read podcast. I'm Assad, joined as always by Isaiah, DeAndre. You can find me at AssadNBA on Twitter.
Twitter user Jeezy Supremacy.
And on Twitter at Willems, WILLLUMZ. And today we have, for the very first time on the Right Read podcast, some very, very special guests. He wanted to be introduced as Drake enthusiast. Our good friend, Will himself. You can find him on Twitter at
Bias Houston.
And his co-host, both halves of the Bradeaux and Will show are with us today. We also have Stat Enthusiast, was what he wanted to be introduced as, ladies and gentlemen. Bradeaux himself. Where can they find you?
Bradeaux NBA. Simple.
Bradeaux NBA.
We
got both of them in the house. A first for us, our first guest on the podcast.
Our inaugural guests.
Yeah.
They had us on their pod
Yep.
last episode, so we're returning the favor.
Had to do a pick swap. Had to do a pick swap with them. I guess we forgave the pick swap, I guess. I don't know exactly how that worked. We're gonna get right into it. A lot has been going on in the NBA lately, and for the first time I think this season, some major drama, some major news. It kind of feels like the offseason again a bit.
Off-season in-season, off-season.
Jimmy Butler has requested a trade for the Miami Heat, if you've been living under a rock. And we've kind of seen this coming for a while, some of the disagreements that they've had with each other, with him and Pat Riley, stemming back to the comments last year where Pat said, if you weren't playing, don't speak. Ever since then, it's kind of been a bit up and down. I don't know if you guys watched Starting Five on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Kind of saw some of it simmering there a bit too. So, who wants to jump in on that? Because that's
just given the facts of everything, basically what's happened so far is Jimmy has requested a trade to 29 NBA teams.
Yeah, is that a first?
That might be a first.
No, not the first. Because what was that dude in the Sixers? Who kept trying to get traded?
I forgot.
He wanted to get traded for
Nobody
5
wanted
days.
him.
But the first star I've seen
Yeah.
to request out without any specific trade destination, 29 other teams.
What do you say?
Pat Riley granting the trade request, but they are fining him almost $400K per the next 7 games.
I think it says almost $2.3 million, right?
Yeah.
3.7.
3.7.
Yeah. So I don't care who you are. $4 million is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
That's a significant fine.
Funny, he's only doing this so he has he's got 2 weeks basically to work out a trade,
right.
He gets to do it for free too. So
it's I think New Orleans, off the top of my head, they held out Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
When they were getting ready to trade him, but they did not fine him.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the first time I've seen an organization legitimately fine a guy. That bridge is burned.
The funniest thing to me was Jimmy came out and said they tried suspending me. Yep. Miami came out and said, and went to the Miami Herald and said, no, we didn't suspend him. And then the next day they suspended him for 7 games. It's a very, very weird. I know Miami likes having that Spurs East kind of thing, kind of vibe to them. We're tough and we're grit, and we kind of spoke about this.
Is funny.
We kind of spoke about that. It's kind of true, I don't know if you guys remember the Game of Zones, Soul Box, Heat culture. It's on those garbage jerseys that they have. That's kind of been their MO, and it's kind of been crumbling to me lately. I haven't really cared about Heat culture, and at least a decade, honestly, since LeBron left, to be quite honest. So kind of seeing how this is unfolding. I know Pat Riley wants to be the godfather and the slick back hair and the suits, but like it's being held together by Eric Spoelstra right now. And I mean, he's done this now with Jimmy. He did it with D Wade. He did it with LeBron.
Right.
He did it with Shaq. He did it with Alonzo Mourning. Like, this is just his MO. He doesn't like paying stars. He doesn't like when stars become bigger than the team. I don't fully agree with it. In the comments that he said, I want to make sure I'm quoting him right. Without Jimmy Butler, we can still compete with the Boston Celtics.
He said the Celtics are beatable, and they believe that they can still trade Jimmy and beat them.
I think Pat Riley is delusional.
Like,
He's delusional.
I think that the bigger issue for me is, it's going to Jimmy's issue with the team is like you haven't given him anything close to like a co-star. Like I know Bam Adebayo is one of the best young bigs. I guess he's a bit older now, but he was one of the best. Yeah. He was. I think he was like 23 when Jimmy got there, something like that. So he was one of the better up and coming bigs at that time. And then Tyler Hero was a rookie when Jimmy got there, and he kind of elevated himself in that playoff series and made himself somewhat of a household name. But the Heat, it almost became a joke that like they would be involved in every trade. Like every time a star requested out, it was either like a Lakers or Heat Photoshop. Yeah. And the Lakers got Anthony Davis. The other teams get other guys. The Heat have got no one. It's just been Jimmy.
Same
like,
team.
they struck.
They got Kyle Lowry.
Bro, we thought that like Dame to the Heat was a done deal. Yeah. Didn't happen. Kyrie was even rumored to them at one point in time. Didn't happen.
Bill.
Bill. There was at one point in time where James Harden might have been in their cards.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple of other guys I'm forgetting, but they surrounded Jimmy with no talent. So on his perspective, I understand it. Like I can't go out. I'm getting out to the finals. Give me somebody else who can help. Yeah, who can help me once I get there.
I saw a stat. They have the 4th most playoff wins since Jimmy arrived, and they're the only team that hasn't won a ring.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
Like it adds up, and it's to Will's point. I think the point that Jimmy Butler and his agent are making. You didn't really give us anything more to work with. Like I got you this far with this. Can you give me something else that like the Dame one to me is the funniest thing. That saga played out for at least 2 years, like to the point where Portland basically said, all right, at this point, we're just not giving you Damian Lillard to Miami because Pat Riley, again, Mr. Godfather over here was saying, you can have Hero maybe. Like, that's basically what the trade-off was.
That's what it was.
Like, it was pretty sad to see, honestly. So I get why people are frustrated with Jimmy and how he handled it, going out into the media like that, kind of a Harden 2.0. I don't think Harden was...
It might be worse.
It might be worse than what Harden did, honestly. But
pretty similar.
Yeah, it's... Now, I don't know, saying that you don't have joy anymore was kind of nasty to me. Saying like I don't have joy playing basketball. It's like, I don't know, when your game check hits it, it's $3.7 million over 7 games. I think there's a certain joy that might come with that, but I get both sides' frustration, but I think I'm Team Jimmy on this one. Like you didn't really give me any help. I'm now in a contract year.
And you're not gonna pay him.
Yeah, and you have cap space too. Like they have the cap space to pay him. You're just essentially saying we're not gonna pay you. If you're not gonna pay me, let me go somewhere else. Yeah, go to a team that might pay me.
On the other end, like on the Heat end, it's like it's kind of hard, I think, to one like consistently build a team around Jimmy because he has so many games missed, man. And that's part of the reason why it's a little bit more difficult in the playoffs because part of it is their paths are just always harder. They went to the finals as like the 8th seed. They were the 8th seed because your best players are missing 20+ games. And then now Jimmy's what, 35?
Right.
35.
So you got this 35-year-old on a contract year that clearly wants a max and already has a rap sheet of games missed. Like if you're an organization, it's kind of hard to look at him and say, yeah, I'm giving this guy the max. Now, should they? Probably. But I can't disagree with the line of thinking that I shouldn't give this guy a max because I'm gonna be honest, I'd be very reluctant to do that.
He's not worth one.
It's so interesting how like LeBron has kind of changed the way we view 35 and up players. Because I remember when LeBron was up for contract 35, they're like, you can't give LeBron a 4-year max, and he had to sign a 2+1 and then a 1+1.
He's the reason the rule is the way it is, honestly.
Yeah,
with
and
the
now
3-year
it's like
max
Paul
deal,
George,
so.
4-year max 35. Jimmy Butler is probably going to get a 4-year max of 35.
You think he is?
Yeah.
No, he won't be able to get because he'll be 36 in the offseason, so he's going to be limited to that 3-year deal.
I don't even.
Yeah, sorry,
so,
you get a 3-year max.
Yeah.
Do y'all think a team's going to give Jimmy Butler a 3-year max?
I think he'd get a 2+1. Honestly,
with a team option.
I think that's what you'd have to offer him. Will he accept that? I don't know, but I think that'd be the offer sheet.
There's a team that'll be desperate enough to do it.
It's not well if he gets traded. I guess you have to extend
Exactly.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
giving him that much
How much
money
is he
is
getting traded for though?
I don't think for much, especially after the way for you to say like I'll go play anywhere else. Miami has zero leverage now. Like they have zero.
Not just that, for Miami to be like, we're suspending you for 7 games.
Yeah, it's clear that situation.
It's extremely clear. Like, you can't bring him back after.
Yeah. And I don't think Miami cares so much about the return because I think their plan has always just been have cap space in the offseason. So I think that they just want give us expiring contracts back to make sure I'm not compromising what I believe was their plan anyway of just going to this offseason with all that cap space, make a move from there. I don't think they're asking for much, honestly. And I think if Pat Riley's trying to play hardball again, then cool, you're just going to lose Jimmy Butler in a lot of games for nothing once again.
Do y'all think that's a smart strategy, though?
What?
To try to avoid a rebuild? Because I think Pat Riley said we don't do rebuilds.
I mean, the Heat are like the Heat and the Lakers are like the two teams where they just kind of get a star like every decade. So I guess like you kind of can't do that because they don't. When's the last time the Heat like actually rebuilt?
It was right after Dwayne. When they sucked with Dwayne, they didn't even rebuild. They just sucked after
I was gonna
Dwayne.
say,
They got Beasley off of just being injured. They haven't really rebuilt.
Yeah, then they got Bron. Then after that, like they lost Bron. They were like somewhat halfway back.
They weren't that bad.
Yeah,
but they were still like decent. And then they got Jimmy Butler. So,
but I was gonna say, but how much do you think the negative endorsements from Jimmy's gonna impact their ability to sign free agents?
Oh, it's already impacted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There's not a lot of players that I think are clamoring to play for
Yeah.
Pat Riley.
Yeah, Pat Riley. I saw an interview recently with Shaq. He was talking about it. How he said something about, I want to say Jason Williams. He came in late, and Shaq was standing up for him, and he got traded like the next.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask y'all what y'all thought about like what Jimmy even said to get Pat Riley pissed off. He pretty much was literally just like he was drunk, and he was like, "If I'm playing, yeah, we beat the Celtics. Yeah, we beat the Knicks." I'm trying to think if Harden says that. Like, are we mad? Like, he's not wrong or he's not lying, but what's the point of saying, like...
I think it'd be different if, like, he hadn't done it before, but, like, he did it the year before, he did it 2 years before that. Like, if I'm healthy, I'm kind of the Celtics killer. Like, that's kind of Jimmy's MO. Like, they have a hard time beating me, so...
Yeah.
I get why, like, Jimmy says that. I never understood why Pat Riley was mad at it.
Trying to think of it from like, his perspective, like, from a GM perspective, if your guy's, like... So, the way I would think of it is kind of, like, back to the San Antonio East situation.
Yeah.
His injury stuff, I think, has always been a little iffy for them. The fact that it's very, very well known, he's very, very open about coasting regular season games, things like that. I could see that rubbing like a front office guy kind of wrong, and then to be like, oh, like if I had played, I would have been good. You know, like maybe he's like, oh shit, you should have played.
Yeah,
you know, maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to win games like that, and it's also like I said earlier, it's harder to have a good path in the playoffs when your star players are just always missing games. And like you said, not only is he missing games, when he plays, he's coasting.
Yeah, but like he's the first star I've seen that like openly. Like,
yeah, but that's always been the conversation around Miami and why it's always been like they need to go get a star.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
say that was gonna be my counter.
You kind of just need like let Jimmy coast, let you get one guy that's like get the 6 seed, like just stay out the play in, and then like I know people feel certain way about Jimmy Butler. Playoff Jimmy Butler is actually real. Like he legitimately goes to another. Yeah, he goes to another level as a player, and it's part of that reason is because he takes care of his body and he coasts during the regular season. And like in a 16-game season, I know that this guy like, I know it's bubble talk. That game in the bubble, was it game 3 or game 4?
It was the one where he guarded Bron and dropped 40.
Guarded Bron, 40 point. Like
triple-double, I think.
Like that's one of the most insane performances. And he was won. Jimmy Jordan. And he won.
I think it might have been.
I think it was either 4 or 5.
It was game 4.
Yeah. Like
they were down.
That's one of the craziest games ever. And like that's who Jimmy Butler. And it's not like that was the only one off. Like the multiple series against the Celtics, like them walking to the finals, going like they just ran into a better Nuggets team. Like
for, that one missed 3-pointer he had in Game 7 against the Celtics.
He does it 3 years in a row.
They would have been to the finals 3 straight times.
Yeah, like we're talking about Jimmy Butler in a completely different light, and even then, like this still should be the light we speak on this dude of. Like, I don't really care what you do in the regular season at 35 years old. If I know 35-year-old you is gonna give me 16 games, it's why so many teams. I think at least like if I'm.
That's why he's getting the max. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's gonna get the max.
I think it's what Dre said. He's gonna get a 2+1.
He'll get a 2+1.
Right.
Yeah, I can do it too.
I'm gonna be honest.
3-year max.
I think there's one team. I don't know exactly the contract situation, but they were rumored to going after another guy that's getting paid a lot. If I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm making a phone call. I'm making a phone call for Jimmy Butler. I think they're the one team that can afford to let him only play 30 games rest of the season. Come playoff time, you give me Jimmy.
Like Jimmy and Jokic.
You give me Jimmy and Jokic in the playoffs?
You know what? I haven't.
Who's your
heard that one
package for
before.
that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's
it'd have
gotta
to be.
MPJ.
It seems like everything's been centered around MPJ, like with the Levine stuff that was kind
I
of
would do
rumored.
That's such a great fit for them. But yeah, I
He
heard he
is
has to
like-
be involved in a deal.
Can they make the
Yeah.
money work without MPJ or just
No.
have to-
Basically, it from what I've heard is what Brad was just talking
Yeah.
about. If the Nuggets are making a trade, MPJ
Yeah.
has to. Be.
They could include
Never had
Jamal.
no
They don't want to
Yeah, I
include
wouldn't
Jamal.
trade
That's the
Jamal.
thing.
Yeah.
So
You can't do Jamal.
yeah, I wouldn't.
That would be
MPJ
the
would make them.
funniest It'd be like
They would have
the
no shooters.
Two notorious like regular season coasters, like playoff Jamal.
Oh my
Murray and
goodness.
playoff Jimmy Butler.
And just sprinkling Russell Westbrook on top of that. Oh my goodness!
I forgot about
Please,
you.
Hilarious
please, man.
Because they starting him now, Russell.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
open too.
He's been actually
Yeah,
very very good.
He's been down.
will
Let's
say-
pivot a little bit to other players that have been very very good. It's a bit of a sore spot for the city of Houston, if I had to say so
it
myself.
feels appropriate. We're talking about like an aging star, kind of seeing how he's going. We're going to talk about one of the
One of the young.
young
He's,
up and coming.
is he 21 yet?
20 still.
I think he's still
Still
20.
No, he turned 22. I thought, or he's 21.
It's only year two.
I think
Dang,
It's only.
21?
I don't know. Is he even 20? We can get a fact check on that.
20.
I think he's still 20 years.
He
He was,
hasn't had his 21st birthday.
yeah, he was drafted
No,
at night.
no, Wemby's 21.
He's 21.
yeah.
And he'll be 22 in January. Oh, so actually, no, it's today's birthday. It's today's birthday.
Oh, so he just turned.
yeah,
21.
today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Wemby.
Man, we ain't wishing him happy
Yeah, I
birthday.
guess, I guess.
But I think that this is a point in time where a lot of conversations are being had. I would like to say you can check my Twitter at WILLUMZ. Go to the highlights, scroll down to my top 100 players, and you'll see at number 7 Victor Wembanyama. And I was called a lunatic. I was told it was too soon, and he might be better than that now. Like I think.
Seven's about right.
I think
I think seven's about right.
Where-
Let's-
where-
give me
where would y'all put him?
6 right now.
Where would y'all put him?
I put him. He's top 10 for sure.
He's top 10 for sure.
I still got Luca,
Luka,
Jokic,
Embiid
Shea.
when he's healthy,
I think 5
Tatum.
easy off.
Tatum, SGA,
I think you go Giannis, Embiid,
Giannis.
Luka, Shea. I think that's like
Okay,
easy 5.
I'll give you that
Tatum,
5.
Tatum 6.
Yeah,
He
you
better than
you
Tatum.
Still got to respect Tatum.
I might-
He's a better basketball player than Tatum.
Tatum gang.
He's a better basketball player than.
LeBron.
I don't know if y'all can hear. I don't know if y'all can hear the back.
Hey, I'm cool with putting
Bron top
his
10,
airness
Bron
up
top
there.
10.
Bron and Big
LeBron-
Twins, we love you, Bron, but
LeBron
like
always won,
I'm cool
man.
with putting Bron up there.
Bron always won. Is
Bron always won.
is insane.
Bron always won.
Bron always won is insane. But I mean, we
He's
gotta.
for sure top 9 at the lowest.
He's top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10
He's no lower than 7. I'm gonna be like, he's the best defender in basketball, and he's now averaging what 27 a game
He's also
Yeah.
efficient.
on insane efficiency. Like that was
Yeah.
my gripe for him beginning of the season was. His shot diet was nasty and he wasn't making any shots. It's the same shot diet, funny enough.
No,
Like,
he's
they're
making
just
them.
going in
He's
now.
making
Like they're just
I
going
think
in.
he's exactly 7. At the count on top of my head.
7?
Yeah, I say
I'm cool.
have a
I'm cool with him
Luka,
saying 7, but
Embiid, Shai, Giannis, and I'm
It's
Oh, I forgot about
Tatum.
Tatum?
Tatum and 6. That's
yeah.
6.
I'm be honest. If you're forgetting Tatum, he's better than Tatum. If we're being honest, he's a better basketball player than Tatum. At the
I'm not
sport
gonna-
of basketball, he's more
I will
important and
say
more
though,
valuable
The fact that we're debating like 6 and 7
It's splitting hairs.
for a second year
20-year-old.
dude,
A
for
guy-
a
a guy
21-year-old.
who just
Yeah.
turned 21 today.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
insane.
I'm just so glad that the Heat West are not competent when it comes to building rosters
They're not.
anymore.
So
They're
far.
not at all. So I'm glad they're not good at building rosters
Although
anymore.
they're going to be a playing team, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's
I think
carrying
they're
the-
They're the
9.
They're the 8 seed.
They're
right
18
now.
and 16 currently. I
Yeah.
believe.
They're the 8 seed right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
A couple games above 500. I will
Uh-huh.
say though, Frank brought this up. Shout out at F Tank 7 Chop Shop.
Isn't it
you know, all that.
58? Whatever.
He was mentioning about how we have a lot of these young teams. January, February is when they kind of crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I was looking back at us last year. We were kind of in a similar spot to them. At around this time of the
Yeah.
year,
Yeah,
And
February
then
is bad.
by the end of February, we were like 5 games below
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
So the next 6 weeks, I
Yeah.
think you'll be able to see the seeding of the league a
Yeah.
lot clearer. Not in terms of like exactly who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I think you'll see. All right, these teams aren't going to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
These teams are going to be in the play-in. 1 or 2
Yeah.
fighting. Like you're going to get the tiers.
Yeah,
of
that's
the-
what
of the
I
happened.
league
think
in the next
it's
6 weeks.
a really interesting time too because you got Kawhi coming back tonight.
Yeah.
So that's going to be seeing. It's obviously going to take him a while to like work back into it, but
I don't think he plays more than like 20 minutes tonight.
if that, honestly, like if they'll probably give him like 5-minute stints and sit start like that. That'll probably be what it is.
Off the top of my head, like last April, right?
Yeah,
it was that Mavericks series.
Yeah,
like he played in this. He played in the playoffs for the Mavericks. I mean, against the Mavericks.
Sorry, yeah, he played like
he played games
and he was terrible.
Y'all remember that the clip where he's like hanging on the rim? Like he was really trying to make sure he didn't land on that knee. Yeah, so I think that like the Clippers, I think they're the 6th seed right now. If I'm expecting Kawhi Leonard to be Kawhi Leonard, they're not going to get any lower than that. I think the Nuggets have climbed back to 5. I think the Mavs are the really interesting one, seeing how they survive. I think 6 more weeks of Luka, I think it's about now.
Which is tough for them.
That's going to be really, really tough.
They might be playing.
I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but like 6 weeks, no Luka. We got to see them already, and they looked kind of, especially in that second half, they look kind of iffy. I'm going to be completely honest. So that'll be interesting to see there. I mean, the West is a bloodbath, though. Like we know how much of a bloodbath the West is. But yeah, I'm just, the Spurs terrify me. I will say, like, if we have to see them in a playoff series, I think we win. I just don't want to play Wemby. I really don't, man.
I'm not.
I'm not trying to play Wemby in a playoff series.
I like how we
man.
match up against them just because off the fact,
Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, backcourt.
I don't care about none of them. I really don't. They got a 7'5" dude over there, man.
Okay.
I'll put it this way though. No one wants to play Wemby, but they just don't have.
I want to play.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll be.
This year they don't have the support.
We beat them in 5. I think we beat them in 5.
I think
but
they have Wembanyama, but we have Dylan Brooks. So like,
that's a fact.
Jokic does a great job scheming against them.
Yeah.
Does a great job.
Shout out to DB, man.
Very, very good job of scheming.
Yeah.
They do.
It's just
they wall up against him.
Yeah. Really good.
And they use Dylan to make him take those
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which he's been making.
He's been making them lately, which is like I think that's the terrifying part about that team. If he can walk away, because he's been averaging, I want to say like 30, 13 and like 4 blocks a game for the last month, basically.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you got to deal with, and he's gonna be playing ramped up minutes in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to. I still think a lot of teams beat him because
it's just
Devin Vassell.
He's not on the floor.
I'm supposed to be here to Harrison Barnes.
Devin Vassell, man, like
Devin Vassell's out.
He's out again.
You heard
he was playing last game.
No. I thought he got hurt again. Am I tripping?
He might have got hurt again. He's always injured, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
But like, he's not good when he plays. So
I was gonna say he hasn't had a great season.
Yeah.
Like their second best player is legitimately what, Harrison Barnes?
It's probably Chris.
It might be Chris Paul.
Or Chris Paul. Yeah.
Like it actually might be. Funny enough, it might be Stephon Castle. No funny, and he's been garbage, but it might actually be Stephon Castle. Like he might be. Yeah. I talked myself out of it. Not worried about it.
But it's not just that. It's because if they do make it into the playoffs, they're gonna be like at best 7th seed.
Yeah,
they'll be fighting for a play-in.
They're facing either like Memphis or OKC
or us
or us. I don't think they beat any of us.
Yeah, no.
I think like them versus Memphis would be very intriguing.
Memphis
to
is
me.
just so injury prone. If they can never get healthy, that's an easy 2 seed, and they're getting pretty.
Yeah.
So.
But,
Memphis that'll be an interesting matchup. I think whoever has to match up with Memphis, because Gigi should be coming back soon.
I always forget they got
and he hasn't played all year, correct?
Yeah, he hadn't played all year.
Vince Williams even played this year.
He hasn't played. I think they said he's about 2 weeks away. Last time I checked, I think he's so like they're getting their core back really soon. Yeah, it just depends.
And they had the assets to continue to get like the better. They're in the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes.
Yeah. They're in the a different player sweepstakes, which I think is another good segue. They're the Houston Rockets, who you guys follow us, all of us on Twitter. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you guys all know we're big Rockets fans. If the big HR on Assad's chest didn't give it away, we have been dealing with a lot lately, and it's something that I think beginning of the season, some people might have predicted. Some people might have said like, "This is what good teams go through. Can we survive?" If you don't know, Jabari Smith Jr. broke his. I believe it was shooting hand.
Left hand.
It was left hand.
Offhand.
Broke his non-shooting hand in shoot around. There's a clip going around of him with the trainers like squeezing his hand. Funny enough, he went and did media afterwards. Didn't think he broke it.
No one thought his hand was broken until they did X-rays.
Yeah, they did the X-rays. He ends up breaking it. That just adds now to the other injuries and / suspensions that the Rockets have had. Bari and Tari, the draft mates, I think. At best to say they'll both be out for at least the next month. Obviously, we have zero clue what's going on with Tariq, and I know you wanted to speak on that. So if you want to take the reins on that one.
My thoughts on that are, I'm worried about the way he's progressing. I was actually talking to Will and Brad about this the other day. Going from out for 2 weeks to questionable for 2 weeks to now he was doubtful last game. I'll check what his availability is for tomorrow's game, but
It's
it
probably
doesn't
gonna be the
look
same.
like he's, like,
Day to day in quotations.
No,
Yeah.
but he
Oh,
went
yeah.
from day to day to questionable
Yeah.
to doubtful. So
Yeah.
it's like
Which-
he's going in reverse.
Yeah, so that's not how it's supposed to work.
That's not how stuff's supposed to work.
It's
And
supposed to be
shout out
day-to-day.
the Houston Rockets. Have a phenomenal medical staff.
Yep.
Well reported around the league. We tend to not have a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and we tend to recover,
Especially not
fast.
long term ones.
Yeah, we're very, very cautious. We're very, very good with how we handle treatments, how we handle recovery.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, like when someone is having the kinds of issues that he's having, considering he missed all of last year, and now this like up and down kind of season he's dealing with, especially what really concerns me is it's been hinted at that it's the same injury.
Yeah, it's the same leg.
It's
I
the
do know
same
that
leg.
for
So
that's one thing they
it's
have
nothing
confirmed.
new. And I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but he started this season on administration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started the season getting ramped up
Mm-hmm.
from this same injury.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
think it's administration and no back to
yeah,
back.
so it's just because I'm saying he hasn't been playing back to backs all year. Had administration start the season, ramped up a little bit. Then I don't know if you remember last like 5-6 games, he was playing pretty bad.
Yeah, you could tell he was hurt.
Yeah, the
Couldn't
jumper
hit.
It was
wasn't
after-
fun.
was
It was
Jumper
after
got
he got
good.
that concussion.
Yeah.
Ever since that, he was just not playing
Yeah.
basketball the way he was before.
Yeah.
So it's just there's just a lot going on with Tari. Our wing room, the Houston Rockets wing room,
The ring room depth.
coming into the season was people were saying
That
some
was
of
the
the
main strength.
deepest wing room in
Yeah.
the league. People were like best 3-and-D wings.
Went to hell real
super
fast.
young. Yeah, it is now just Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore,
And
and
yeah.
Dylan Brooks.
Shout out
Shout out
Jay
Jeff
Sean
Green.
Tate, man.
Shout out
Yeah,
Jay
shout out
Sean
team,
Tate.
shout out to the
Shout out
team
Tate.
captain, man. Shout out to team
Thank
cap.
Jeff
But
Green.
yeah, I mean,
Now respect Unc too. Yeah, facts. Respect
also,
Unc.
I mean, what's y'all thoughts? Like y'all the
I'll say the
Like I love that. Go ahead.
nah. I was gonna say the only part that's truly concerning to me is this is how it started last year
Yeah.
when he
Sorry.
with
it
Tara
is.
with how when he went from he got injured in preseason, didn't play I think like the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, something like that. Came back midseason, played phenomenal when he came back. Like we were above either exactly 500 or above 500 team.
I think we were like
We're like a couple
We
games
were 12 and
over.
8 when Tari played.
Okay, so yeah, we were slightly above 500 in the games that Tari played. So he played great. Like I remember he won us that Memphis game last year because he was just so good. And then he got mysteriously hurt, and it was okay. Tari needs like a week or two to come back, maybe like a month out, whatever. I remember when we were talking about the trade deadline for the Rockets last year. One of the things or I guess it was last year, 2025 now. The trade deadline, we were talking about you could make a trade, but the biggest thing you could add in quotation marks was just the healthy Tyrese and just getting him back.
We were like getting Tari back.
Getting Tari
Yeah.
back, that would be the best addition you can make at the deadline, anyways.
Mhm.
So we were still thinking in February, March, he was coming back, and then he never did. And it I'm knock on wood. Obviously, I don't want Tari to be done for the season, but
Right.
this is I'm getting deja vu. This is how it started last year, where it was okay. Is he going to come back today? No. Maybe next week? No. All right, give him a month. No. He just might be done for the season.
I think the weirdest part for me is it's not like he's not participating in basketball activity.
He's practicing.
He's warming up. He's
He's
practicing.
stopped now though. I'm telling you, he's going to reverse. I don't know if y'all saw the
Yeah.
report yesterday. He didn't participate in practice today or the game before.
That's what he was warming up when I went last game. That was not the Celtics game, but the game before
Yeah.
on
So
Wednesday.
So on
Was it
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
he
Yeah.
was,
That was the
right?
Heat game,
But then
right?
Thursday's practice, media said he didn't practice. Today's practice, they said he didn't practice.
And the thing
Okay,
is with that,
interesting.
they say he's structurally okay for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just this discomfort, with that
It's
injury.
pain. It's
Yeah,
pain.
it's
Yeah.
pain. It's just coming and going. It's inconsistent, and so it does look pretty concerning at this
Yeah.
point. It
Yeah,
looks
that-
like last season, as Will said, and I'm more concerned about this injury than the Jabari injury because we don't.
Yeah, yeah,
Because Jabari is very clear.
yeah.
Fracture in his hand.
Yeah.
getting
Surgery, yeah.
4 to 8 weeks. Like we know exactly what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
With Tari, it's like, is it still hurt?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say because I talked to Assad about this already, the Tari thing, and the thing he said that like really opened my eyes was if you look at the like game report, he's questionable, and like doubtful,
Mhm.
and he's going through shoot around doing all this stuff, and it's literally like it comes down to them like asking him like, hey,
Can you play?
is it like is it too much pain for you to play? And every single time they're like coming back and they're saying like, nah, like we're sitting you down because it's like it's too much pain and discomfort. And if you're able to like do all of these activities, but at the end of the day you just can't play, that's more concerning than like, all right, like you just broke your hand, you gotta like do the surgery, let it recover, you're coming back. Like the Tari stuff, there's no timeline because every day you just wake up in pain.
So my conspiracy theory I was telling Isaiah was I think he's been medically cleared for basketball activities for like a month now, and he just physically can't do it.
So what would y'all just shut him down for a little bit? Like, no basketball activity. You don't got to come to practice. Just sit on the bench in your fit. Wait till like at least the pain is manageable, and then we come back to it.
I think that might be what they're doing.
Might be, because that is a great point, because I really hadn't been paying attention to it, because he was day to day questionable, and last game he was doubtful. So if it is that, then the thing for me, and I know with the NBA they get really, really tricky on this. Just rule him out. Like, if he's not going to play, just rule him out, because I think they are kind of waiting until 15 minutes for a tip off and saying, "Hey, you want to play tonight?" Like, that's just kind of, one, you're throwing your rotation out of whack. You're throwing a lot of things into the ringer, and I know the NBA is not huge fans of manipulating the injury report either. So I'm not trying to see the franchise get fined either. So I'm not too sure exactly what the correct course of action is. Get well, Tari, though.
Yeah,
like please just get well. That's all that matters, because when he's playing, we know like that's a 6th man of the year, first team all defense caliber guy. Like, I think
he was firmly in that running.
Yeah,
for both of them.
He was second in steals in the entire NBA.
Yeah, I think the stat last year was like per minute he was the 2nd best defender in basketball, like by defensive rating, deflection, stocks, like by everything. It was Jonathan Isaac and him. Yeah. So
please, he had the highest defensive rating last year.
He might have.
No, it was Rudy.
Did Rudy have the highest individual?
I know he was up there.
Rudy had the
highest. He's like top 5.
He was up there. But to a bigger point on that, speaking like the Rockets' like philosophy offensively, very, very
offense.
Yeah, or the offense of the Houston Rockets so far this year has been predicated a lot on second chance points, defensive playmaking, and just shot clock violations on the other team. All of those 3 things, I would argue that aside from maybe Amen, and even more than Amen, Tari does those things for us. He was our one of our best offensive rebounders, insane defensive playmaker, and that's why people are like, "Oh man, the defense hurts." The offense hurts when Tari's out, because a lot of our offense is just predicated on the defense.
That that Warriors game, we know we lost anyways, but we were down, I think 30.
We were at that game
30, and I've never seen a player bring a team back down 30 with defense. Like, I've seen it happen. Like, just Harden, Steph get hot. I've never seen a player just take the ball from you over and over again in the half court, and then go coast to coast with it over and over. Like, when he collapsed that night on the court, that was because he could not play anymore. Like, he was literally physically exhausted. He could not play. He had to go sit down.
Yeah, that was. We were at that game. That was one of the a genuinely euphoric experience. And then you just see him after a dunk. I want to say he dunked it.
No, he didn't even dunk it. And that's how you know he was tired, because he was dunking him before, but he laid that one up and just collapsed.
What made me mad, funny enough, Ime didn't foul. We didn't call timeout. They ended up scoring on that play. I remember Buddy Hield hit a 3. They ended up scoring on the next play, and I'm like, all right, please get him out the game. Like, he quite literally cannot walk.
I think he sat down and came right back.
Yeah,
I think they gave him like a minute, a minute break max.
It was crazy.
It was genuinely.
But I guess on that note, new Rockets rotation for the foreseeable future, next at least 6 to 8 weeks, is going to be Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün.
Correct.
I wanted to kick this to Isaiah because we had a lot of arguments last year when Jabari Smith was underperforming. He said the future power forward's already on the roster, and we drafted him at pick 4. So you're getting your chance. You're going to have about 6 to 7 weeks of Amen Thompson starting at power forward. How do you feel about it?
I think the thing with Amen was like defensively, because of how well of a rebounder he is and how good of a shot blocker he is, and like how versatile he is switchability wise. It's kind of what you want like in your forward. Like, you see these contended teams, like obviously Tatum on a higher scale because he's also like a superstar, but defensively he's a switchable wing that can guard 1 through 5 and like rim protect to a certain degree, and he's also a very good rebounder, so it allows the Celtics to do a lot of different things.
Yeah, he's the best role player in the league.
That's gonna be clipped.
You see, like with the Nuggets, with Aaron Gordon, like it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, he's a switchable wing. He can guard 1 through 5. He's a really good rebounder. And so it allows you to do more things. I think Amen also has that. So defensively, it does work. And that's really what I was like alluding to. I think defensively, like, because we had the whole discussion on like what are we gonna do with the rim protection for our 4 spot and all that. And I think that's on the roster. He's one of the best rim protector wings in the league, like right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see it full time now. for the next 8 weeks. So until All-Star break,
4 to 8, yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 8. I guess like at least for this month.
Depending on how he's playing is exactly how long Jabari will be out. Like if he can come back at week 5, but Amen is averaging like 15, 8 boards, like take your time, boy. I guarantee.
I'll say this on the Jabari injury. Ben Dubose had a really good comparison. Gordon Hayward broke his offhand and came back in exactly a month and was right back in the starting lineup, and it was cool. So hopefully that's the same path. For him.
Hopefully.
Yeah, offhand
be.
is a good thing because it's just there's so many like
he needed to work on his left hand.
So many finite.
It's good. Yeah.
I'll say the one thing that I do think that we're going to miss with Jabari, because I agree with Jay. I think Amen's my biggest brand right now. So I am excited that he's getting the start, even though I do wish that Jabari was still. I didn't want him starting at power forward, but I think one thing that we're going to miss with Jabari out and with the men starting is I'm not sure that Amen is as good at guarding bigs as Jabari is, and that was one of the biggest things that the Rockets did this year defensively to kind of help. Help Şengün not get bruised and battered as a defender, but also I think he's a bit better when he's able to kind of move around, wall up, and contest that way. And so what they would do is they would have Jabari guard the opposing team center, and then Şengün would guard the weaker shooter of the starting 5 and just kind of roam off of him. And you could, in theory, still try that with him in, or maybe you put Dylan in the Jabari role now. But I don't know if either of those guys have the strength, and like Jabari's 6'11". Yeah, Jabari's 6'11", so he was able to like actually contest those guys. I don't know if you can still do that with them in, so that is something that's going to change. But on the bright side, I do think Amen's better, and I do think that adding in someone to the starting lineup who might be more athletic than Jalen. If not, they're the same tier athlete. Like they're two of the best athletes in the entire association, and we see that. Every time Jalen plays with someone else who can run with him, and Amen will throw lobs, right? So having somebody out there who can kind of make Jalen a bit better. I think one of the reasons why Jalen did go so crazy in March last year was because Amen was starting. The pace was better. So I do think that on where you will lose Jabari's ability to guard centers and be that weak side rim protector in that department. I do think you still get a great defender in Amen who can be an elite POA defender, and then you're also getting, in theory, someone who can help make Jalen Green better.
Two quick things on that to piggyback off of what Will was saying. Jabari started off really slow. We know that.
Yeah.
Poor first 12 games. Last 21 games, he was averaging 1.2 blocks. Which is really good rim protection as a roamer. Let Şengün roam, and he was guarding the big. He was making some huge blocks.
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Jabari was playing the best basketball.
Yeah, he definitely was, because he was also shooting 41.2% from 3 in his last 21 games on like 4.9 attempts a night. They're gonna miss that shooting. They're
that's gonna be the one real hit. Yeah,
it's just him and Dylan high volume. That's good on this team.
Yeah, that's going to be the real hit to me is we already don't play a brand of 5-out basketball, which is what a lot of the league is trying to shift to. We still run more 4-out when in.
Yeah. It's
going to be a bit awkward. I'm assuming either a men's going to have to play screener or a men's going to have to be dunker spot. And not to make this like an existential Rockets thing, but this was always kind of the question. If a men's not your point guard, how does he fit next to Şengün? I think they've got 4 to 8 weeks to try and figure out long-term what this could potentially look like. Does he work at the 4? Do I need a different type of guard? Or does he have to be a guard in order to work with Şengün? So I do think us getting out in transition is going to help a lot more. Just playing up with more pace. And I know people are going to be like, well, the pace stat was down in March. Pace isn't just like running. Pace is just getting into sets quicker. Like the pace stat that the NBA uses is quite literally just total possessions. That's why it's a useless stat to me. It's quite you see it on the court, you get into your action sooner. I'm not starting our sets at 15 seconds. Our first action isn't coming at 11 seconds, and I'm only getting one shot. So I think that'll help a lot, genuinely. I think the defense, I kind of agree with Will's point. I don't know how much better or worse the defense gets, because I think it's going to be a different type of defensive scheme, and I'm interested to see what that looks like. But yeah, I'm going to be intrigued by it. We have our toughest schedule, part of the schedule coming up too.
Quick though, I think the biggest loss that we haven't talked about is the optionality on playing a backup 5. Because we've seen there's definitely like certain matchups where shout out Steve-O, man. But we need to go small, and Jabari is like actually that's one of the biggest improvements he's had this year. I think his small ball 5 minutes have been like very good.
I see he's the best backup 5 we have.
Yeah, and it's been a legitimate option for us. Like in a lot of we pointed out the Warriors comeback. In the Warriors comeback, he's playing small ball 5 for us.
Yep. He was huge in that.
And like a lot of the other games where you're seeing like Tari and Amen flying around, Jabari's playing a 5, getting rebounds, blocking shots, and spacing the floor. And now you don't have that optionality anymore. Like when Şengün comes out the court, one of those bigs has to come in, or you're throwing like Jeff Green out there, or Tate. Honestly, now we might have to do a min at the 5 for backup minutes.
They probably will.
Yeah.
I imagine that.
So that's like you lose a level of versatility that was offered there, and that's a change up now that like when we play these top like the Celtics, honestly, that probably would have been the game where we do go small at some point because they were just spamming the pick and rolls, getting the switches on.
We ended up going small, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. But it's
because they went Unk at the 5. I remember that lineup. It was Fred, Jalen, Dylan, Cam, Unk. That was a pretty. I think Holiday ended up coming at the lineup at 1.2, but that was like Unk at the 5 minutes, and it was pretty nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
They had 2 7-footers in that lineup.
They had Cornette and NKP in that lineup, which is like I get why you try and counteract it by going small, but we just didn't have the right personnel to go small against them. Yeah. I will say it is gonna be pretty funny when Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green like have to take 12 threes a game now.
Yeah,
like they quite literally have to because we've lost our second best volume 3-point shooter. I think he might have jumped Dylan, I think, percentage wise, but
for the season probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But in that span where he started cooking right after that Clippers game, he went off. He was the best shooter.
Yeah, so I mean, but he
gets guarded tight.
Yeah, I mean that's 5 attempts a game that are lost, so that's probably gonna end up getting split between him, Dylan, and Fred. And I think you're gonna have to take more anyway by inserting Amen Thompson in the lineup. It's gonna be different looks you're getting because we know they're gonna guard him in. So it might get nasty, Rockets fans. I'm believing us.
I know someone that's gonna take those shots. Shout out Cam Whitmore.
Oh, yes. Shout out number 7, man.
He was a little upset about his role. I mean, I don't know, but God has shined down upon him and has opened up a lot of minutes.
He got up 9 threes.
He got up 9 threes last game.
I won't say how many he made, but he got up 9.
He put up 16 total yesterday. Yeah. That was
total shot. 16 total threes, I think.
No, 16 shots, 9 threes.
16 shots, 9 threes. Like
we will not say what his percentages were.
Yeah, we don't even like. That's unimportant. Honestly, that's nerd shit.
Yeah, but efficiency. The
point is, we have a huge, like as we were talking about with Tari, with Jabari.
Yeah.
And what Amen provides for you isn't what Jabari provided on offense. So, unironically, we need someone to take a lot of threes.
Yeah.
And we need someone at the wing spot to play off ball and take a lot of threes. So, hey, Cam Whitmore.
I will say, funny enough, this is the role I think he's built to play.
It is.
Will he?
Very much so.
Will he buy into the role? Is another question. That's always been the question with Cam Whitmore. But like to me, you watch him at Villanova, you watched him with Team Mello, you watched him in high school. He's always to me been a small ball 4. A guy who plays a bit of weak side, a bit of nail, and just catch, shoot, or attack a closeout. Like that's it. And you become a star in that way. But he has different plans for himself. Like he wants to be an off the dribble shooter. He wants to be a guard in a sense. But he's a small ball 4 to me. Like that's always what he has been. And until he shoots better than, and I know people hate when I throw this number out, 28.2% across his career on off the dribble jumpers. Until that's better, do your job. Like catch, shoot, attack closeouts, because he is excellent elite off of spot ups, elite attacking closeouts, elite when he's taking 1 to 2 dribbles. Like that's excellent in transition. Like that's what he's excellent at. He's a play finisher. I've always said he's 6'7" Lauri Markkanen. I think that's what he is. Like you can pack Lauri Markkanen, give him a couple more inches on the vertical. That's what he is. And he wants to play a different way. I think he's going to be forced to play that role with Jabari out if he does get. I think he played 25 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of it was in garbage time. I know some of it was in garbage time, but I know he was a legit rotation piece yesterday.
Yeah, and he's going to be.
He's going to get the consistent minutes that he's been asking for. So it's going to be on him to really step up. And
Cam played 33 yesterday.
Played 33?
Yeah.
He played that whole fourth though, didn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, to what you were saying, I looked at it. The catch and shoot number is 40% at Villanova. Yeah. He was one of the best spot up shooters they had last season. I haven't seen the numbers this year. But yeah, that's what he needs to focus on. Ever since you brought up that 28.2%, I've seen a bunch of clanks on the.
I get tagged anytime he made 2. The Mavs game. He had the deep midi, and everyone's like, "Is that a bad shot? Is that a bad shot?" Yes, it is a bad shot. It's still a bad shot. Like I don't care if he makes it or mixes it. Like this is a bad shot. It's not in the flow of the offense. Like it's. I don't know. People get on me for that.
He had a nasty, 2 nasty ones yesterday. The
play up on 3 people.
That one we tried to dunk it in transition over, or not even dunk. He tried to lay it up in transition over 3 people. But the one that was just like, dude, you cannot do this. Is the play after, and Cam, I love you. when he got his ankles broken, he came back with a revenge play. And I'm like, dude, you cannot do that, bro.
He didn't even do the revenge play right. It wasn't on Tatum.
Yeah.
Tatum wasn't guard. He took a
it was like a baseline fadeaway.
Yeah, it was like a bounce pound dribble to the baseline over.
Man.
I think it was Cornette because Cornette's the one that does that goofy contest, right?
Yeah.
Over Cornette, I think he I don't know if he shot it short or tried it long, but he airballed it. I know
he didn't make it. I know
he didn't touch rim. He completely airballed it.
Pretty sure there wasn't like much ball movement before that. I think he just kind of went.
I kid you not, Will. I was at home watching this play, and I'm like, yo, this is not good. Fred had the inbound. And I could see in Fred's face, like, I don't want to give him the ball. Because he got the ball, and I promise, it cuts away to, like, show Tatum or something every now. It cut away to Tatum. When it came back, Cam is already at the baseline getting ready to take the shot. I'm like, yo, there's no shot. This is the play call.
It was a revenge play, man. And I'm just like, bro, you can't do that, man.
But, yeah, I think, transition to our last topic here, All-Star returns. Early returns came out. Got our first brand of fan voting. One thing I feel like a lot of people don't realize, fan voting only counts for the starters.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are like, oh man, like Rockets fans aren't voting in Şengün. It's like, he's not going to start over Jokic, Wemby, AD,
KD,
LeBron, KD, like
Steph, Luka, Shea.
Yeah.
Like, those are 8 players. He's not going to start over any of them.
Yeah.
Right? It's the way it works. 3 forwards, 2 guards.
Yeah.
Then backups, 3 forwards, 2 guards, 2 wildcard spots.
Yep.
Each conference gets 12 players,
Mm-hmm.
right? We were discussing this at lunch earlier. I think if I had to peg down what I think the West is going to be, I think your forward spots, you have 5 that are instant locked. Jokic, AD, LeBron, KD, Wemby.
Yes.
Easy, right? That 6th spot is, I think, a toss-up between like 3 dudes.
Yeah, like Jada,
Şengün, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
I think for that last forward spot, guards, easy. Steph, Shea, Luka.
Yeah.
And
Luka might not make it because of
Luka may not make it.
He'll get voted in, but they'll probably have an
Luka
all-star
doesn't make
replacement
it,
for
It'll
him.
probably be Booker or Harden.
Yeah.
Because I think Booker was
What about
pretty low in
Kyrie?
those All-Star returns.
Or Kyrie.
Kyrie can make it.
Yeah, Kyrie can make it, but guards is a little stacked. But
yeah. It's going to come down for Şengün especially. It's going to come down to the coach vote. That's what it's going to be.
Yep.
So it's going to be. Is the wild card coach vote? That's something I always wonder. The wild card is coach vote too, right?
Reserves are coach
Yeah. So I think it'll come down to
coach vote, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to come down to for him is just do the coaches vote him in. I'm a little iffy on it because I know how some of these assistant coaches vote. It's a lot of reputation, and I don't know if he's quite established a reputation. Like, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. probably gets the nod over him because of DPOY and they're a higher seed.
We're higher than them right now.
No,
They're floating right above us.
Yeah,
they're like a half a game, I think.
Half game.
We've been going back and forth all year.
Yeah.
It's very
So
close.
I think that'll be a big. I think that'll be a big point though. Like if
That was such a
when
bad
voting
look, though.
ends, yeah. Like I think we were talking about. I think it would be a bad look if a top 3 seed. I think we have the
that's
6th
like
best
never
record in
That
the
would be
league.
too
Yeah.
bad.
We don't have an All Star.
The
I
Kings
think.
had that happen to them, correct?
No, they had 2 All-Stars.
No,
They had 2.
They gave them both of them.
Yeah, they gave him
Yeah,
Fox
so
and
Fox
Sabonis.
and Sabonis made the
As
All-Star
they should have.
But that's
Okay.
that's kind of my fear. I think Sabonis they're terrible. Sabonis' stats look great and he has a reputation. De'Aaron Fox is probably going to get picked for a wild card over Şengün, and he works for Clutch. So I know what's going to happen there.
12 seed though, man.
I don't think they get.
And
I
then
think
not
one
have
of the
one from the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah,
that would be
because I think the Thunder. I think J-Dub gets it for sure because they're the 1 seed. I think OKC's going to get 2.
The Cavs.
I think for a fact.
OKC getting 2 All-Stars, I could see it.
Yeah, I think they.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember the in-season tournament game, how they were talking about Jalen Williams. Every single time he touched the ball, it's definite first-time All-Star this year, Jalen Williams. Like, he's going to make the All-Star team this year. He's 100%. I think
all 3 of those make it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even mad at it. He's
Will Chet be back?
Chet won't be back.
I don't think Chet won't be. Chet won't be
No,
back.
no,
Yeah.
no, played
Because
threshold.
we're talking about
What was his
Yeah.
injury again?
Not oblique. That was Paolo.
It
He
was
had
his
the
hip.
hip. It was a hip.
It was his
yeah.
Was it
like
hip?
his hip or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it was off a fall off a
It
rebound.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was a fall off a rebound where he hit like his like lower back
Yeah.
area, and they ruled him out for like.
I know he's out for a minute. Yeah.
I
know
think
he'll
it's
be
like
back.
post All-Star. Like I don't think he's coming back
Yeah.
anytime
Okay.
soon.
So, circling back though, honestly I think what's gonna happen is it'll just be 5 guards, and I think both of those wild card spots are just gonna go to front court players. Because if you really look at it, a lot of the guards aren't gonna hit the threshold. Like I don't think Luka hits the game threshold. I think Booker is kind of teetering the line. And
Ja?
then Ja's also kind of teetering the line on like games. So then you look at it, and it's like, all right, we're looking at the 6 front court spots. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. probably gets that last one. So now it's the 2 wild card spots between
Sabonis,
J-Dub, Sabonis, and Şengün, and then like maybe like Harden. I think that they're gonna give it to the 2 guys on 2 teams that are top 3. So honestly, I think it is. I think for us, Şengün making it is very contingent on where we fall at.
Agreed.
By the
I was
time
about
that
to
voting
say the
ends.
exact same thing.
If we're a top 4 seed, there's just no justification for us to not have an
It
all-star.
would be a terrible look.
Just not a single. Because I mean, I don't think you can like circle back and look at any team that's ever had, especially that late into the season, a top 3, top 4 seed with no all-star. Like it just doesn't happen.
So Houston has to finish this month as a top 3 seed, most likely for Şengün.
Yeah, at least top 4.
This is the
top
most.
And right now they have a 2-loss buffer with the 4 seed with the Lakers and Nuggets kind of right there.
Yeah.
So they need to lock in.
And we play the Nuggets. We play the Lakers on
Play the Lakers
Sunday.
tomorrow.
Yeah, then the Wizards, thankfully.
Yeah, we play the Grizzlies twice. I was looking at our schedule earlier. The end of this month, back to back to back to back. It's Cavs back to back.
That's tough.
Celtics, Grizzlies. That's a 4-game span.
Crazy 4.
I will say the 3 games before that I believe were Detroit, Blazers,
Pistons.
No, Detroit.
Blazers.
Oh, you said Pistons twice.
Whatchamacallit?
Was that the DC game?
God. No. The DC game's after the Lakers game.
It is.
Detroit,
it's Tuesday.
Blazers. And
I know it's 3
Kings.
on
Kings.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like we should. That's one thing we were talking about this at lunch. We should not fall into the slump of like 3-4 game lose streaks. We've done a really good job of that as a team earlier. We
Have
haven't
we
really
lost
had like
more than 2 in a row?
We have
No,
not
we
lost.
yeah 2 games. Yeah.
Where
That's what I
our
thought.
longest losing streak this season has been 2 games.
And to start the year, they had a long stretch where they didn't lose any back-to-back.
Yeah. So I think that's something hopefully that continues. Obviously with the injuries we're facing, it might be a bit of a different story now, but God willing, it stays the same. So I mean, if we leave this month 8-7, I think we 15 total games. We're already through 2 of them.
20. What are we? 21.
We're 22 and 12.
22 and 12. So, you know, I think we
That's
should still
30
be
and 20?
top 4 seed. Yeah, something like that. If we're still a top 4 seed, I think Şengün should get it.
You should.
I don't think we can be like if we're 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
get.
It's gonna be pretty wicked.
But I was gonna say, I also think that like I think the debate on should they abolish conferences for like playoff spots, that's a debate. I don't think that there should be conferences for all stars because
Yeah.
it
You think it should be
it
best
doesn't-
24?
That's a good transition. Y'all want to talk?
It makes no
Yeah, I
sense
was
for
gonna
the
ask,
East
we
to
could,
be
yeah.
as weak as it is, and then we have guys like last year. Şengün would have been an all star if he was
might
in
have
the East.
started.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just not fair to the guys in the stronger conference. They're gonna miss a spot.
I just
That
thought
affects
about
money.
I just thought about this with the Magic. Cause Suggs is down now, and I thought they were
Yeah,
gonna pencil
Suggs
him
is
in to
down.
be like Magic All Star.
Yeah.
If Suggs is like RJ Barrett might actually be an All Star in the
I ain't
East.
gonna, I was
Like,
about
he
to say
might
this.
actually make
Cade
it.
Cunningham might be an all-star starter.
He should.
He might.
He will
No,
be
he
an
should.
all-star
Yeah, he should.
I mean, like their
He's played
starters.
amazing.
So the starters are gonna be what like?
So
LaMelo looks
No,
like
it'll be
he's getting
Brunson.
voted.
It'll be LaMelo and Brunson.
Yeah, sorry. So
Yeah.
LaMelo Brunson, your 2 guard starters.
Is LaMelo gonna play enough
3
games?
forwards, right?
Yeah, he should.
yeah,
He's
LaMelo-
he's
LaMelo
first in the vote. They will make sure.
No,
he
no,
plays.
I know he's played. I just know if he played enough games. But okay.
Yeah,
I know he's
and then
first in their voting, so
so,
they'll make
yeah,
sure he.
LaMelo Brunson, your 3 forwards are gonna be Giannis,
Cat.
Cat.
It'll be 100%. Cat
Yeah,
100%
he's
deserves
playing
it.
well.
Giannis,
100%.
Cat,
Still ass for.
Pascal. Like
Voting wise, who was the
That's what I'm
third
saying.
front court guy? I'd have to look.
someone pull it up.
Oh, Tatum, what are we doing?
Oh, Tatum. Yeah. We're tweaking. We're tweaking. If you forget about Tatum, Wemby's better than him. I'm gonna clip both of them together, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
I'm glad we switched to the East because I was about to say, bro, we were talking about like how much of a bloodbath the West front court is. The Cats might have 4 All-Stars.
Hold on.
No,
do you
they might.
They might have 4 All-Stars.
I don't think Cat starts over. Does Cat start over?
Cat's gonna start. Cat's 100%
Yeah,
gonna
he
start.
started.
Oh, you guys gotta remember
They're
this.
top 3
He's not
seed.
playing in Minnesota.
Cavs.
No, he's
No,
not.
no.
He's not playing in. He's not playing in Minnesota anymore, dude. He's a New York Knick.
He's New York Knick.
He's a New York Knick, man.
I'm sorry,
Like,
that's a great point. He's a New York.
And he's playing.
He's
well,
hooping,
but
like,
yeah,
he's
he's playing well.
reserves.
Wait, D-Mitch
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
start?
D-Mitch?
no, they won't. No.
Over LaMelo?
He's just not gonna have the
I
vote.
mean, I ain't gonna lie, they're the one.
Actually,
seed,
no,
though.
Slick. He is second in guard voting right now. Actually,
Yeah, and they're
he
the
is
one
second in
seed.
guard
They have the
voting.
best
It's
record in the
gonna be
league.
Brunson and Mitchell as your starters.
No, Lamelo's gonna be the starter.
You think LaMelo and
If
Mitchell?
LaMelo,
Yeah, I
is
can see. I
playing,
can
He's
see
at a
Brunson
middle
coming
votes
off the
already.
bench.
because he has too many votes.
He's number
Well,
one.
fan vote is 50%, right? And then
Yeah, he's
media
100%.
fans.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait.
Brunson
you
could
think,
come off the bench.
Media and coaches.
You think Brunson will be a reserve though?
Yes.
If Lamelo's this far clear with the fan vote, 100%. Because that Adam Silver will make sure, like, yo, they want to see this dude.
Okay,
So,
then you're right. The Cavs are gonna have 4 or
Yeah.
3 reserves.
Yeah.
I mean,
most
we
likely
can-
they're
You
gonna
don't
make
think DG makes it?
No, he's
No,
gonna
he
make
makes
as a
it.
reserve.
But we can go through this real quick.
Wait,
LaMelo,
who are you penciling as the starter? Mitch?
Mitch.
LaMelo.
He's second in the voting right now.
Top two right now. Yeah.
We can go. It'll be LaMelo, Donovan Mitchell,
Mhm.
Giannis, Tatum, Cat.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, that sounds.
I think
that's a lot.
that's probably the 5. On the bench, it'll probably be Brunson, Dame for the guards.
DG.
Mhm.
No,
DG.
He'll be the wild card. I think he'll be a wild
DG's gonna need
card.
a wild
You
card.
think?
Yeah,
Brunson and Dame are 100%.
Okay,
I
okay,
think.
sure.
But I think
Dame,
Brunson, Dame for the front court. Mobley,
Mobley Allen.
Allen.
Mobley Allen.
Mobley, Allen. I don't know
Pascal, I
whether
think, gonna make it.
Pascal, right? And then the wild card
And
will
like,
probably be like.
Scotty
two
is
guards.
hurt, right? Is Scotty gonna make the
Trae Young?
I
threshold?
don't think.
Scotty
Probably
did
make.
well.
Oh
That's
no,
what-
no,
I don't know if
Jalen Johnson got to make it.
Oh yeah, Trae Young.
Yeah,
Trae Young,
I-
Jalen
Trae-
Johnson.
Trae- I
Wild,
think
wild
Trae's
cards
also
will
gonna
probably
make
be
it.
like Jalen Johnson and then
DG. You got to put him on there.
Him or Trey Young.
I ain't gonna. There's no way
DG,
Trae Young not
DG
an
maybe.
No,
all-star,
Trae Young is
man.
playing lines to be an all-star this year.
did they give it to Cade?
Every year.
And Cade should also be an all-star. I also think they should abolish
hold on.
positions. Just the
Yeah,
best
'cause I'm gonna
players.
be honest.
Do it like all NBA team.
Literally, the best players should be on that
Yeah,
team.
because I'm not gonna lie, man. The issue that the West has, where it's too many front court spots, the East has it in reverse, where it's
There's
like
too many
way
guards. Yeah.
way too
And
many
Yo,
like-
guards.
I'm trying to think now because you're right. Because DG has to make
Sliss.
it.
Yeah.
Trey and Cade would be out then. If you give
You
it,
gotta get a Trae
they'll
spot
pick
on-
between
So
one of
Trey,
the two.
Trey and Cade
Yeah.
are 5 and 6 in guard voting right now.
Yeah.
Like Maxi's gonna get. Well, nah,
Oh
they,
yeah, Maxey.
they-
also-
the
they-
Sixers
they-
have sucked.
I'm
But yeah,
honest, I
Maxi's
think-
gonna get snubbed.
I think because of how good the Hawks have been, I think Trey probably gets the nod over
Over Cade?
over. No,
Jalen
Jalen
Johnson-
Johnson.
Jonathan Johnson's not even top 10 in
I was gonna say,
voting
you
right
think- he's
now.
not top 10. He doesn't make it over Cade.
He's not top 10 in the voting. Jalen Johnson
He's gonna get
is an
snubbed.
all-star.
Yeah,
Like he
he's-
has to be an
he's-
all-star.
He
All-star
should
then.
be one.
Five,
He's gonna get
bro.
snubbed though.
He's not making over Cade.
Yeah, he's not.
Man.
He's averaging 20, 10,
He's
5.
not
That's what I'm
spot.
saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
2010.
Oldest player in the
He
league
should
doing
make
that
it.
right
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue he's the best player for the team right
I'm
now.
gonna say he's. I'm pretty sure the betting favorite for MIP too.
He
I'm
should be.
pretty
And I ain't gonna
sure.
lie, he
He
should
should
not be.
I mean, I was about to say he was there last
Yeah,
year.
he should not
He,
be eligible
he shouldn't
for
be
that
eligible
award.
for it. That's another. We had that conversation on the last pod about MIP and what it is. But
I'm just happy it's not going to
MIP.
win.
Oh,
Because
it's
they were.
not.
he was the betting. Yeah, he was a betting favorite early
Hilariously
on.
enough, he just improved too much.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, should he like sneak not
Somehow.
be MIP?
And what's funny, like if I didn't think he'd be this good this year, he probably should actually be the
I was like,
MIP
who
now
knows?
because he
Who
improved
knows?
that much. But
They're
now
like-
it's
They're like he's too good for MIP. It's
MIP is the. It's not to get off topic. It's the weirdest award
is.
because you
There's
can't
no
make.
criteria for
Yeah,
it.
you can go from starter to all star, but you can't go from starter to superstar.
Yeah.
And you can't go from all star to superstar. You can't go from bench player to all. Like you have to make a reasonable
Well, who
jump.
would be MIP.
And I don't think year 2 guys should be eligible.
Pritchard?
for that award.
No, they shouldn't be at all.
Ja winning it made zero
Yeah.
sense.
Zero.
I
I
always
he
felt
got
yeah.
to like a 10-point per game leap though,
But it's crazy. Bane on his same team took a bigger leap.
Yeah, I think
100%.
Yeah,
Bane
he
was
felt like a
better.
13-point
Yeah.
per game leap and didn't win it.
Then who got it last year?
Maxey?
Was it?
It was
Maxey.
Maxey.
And,
Maxey
yes,
gets the
and I don't think Maxey should have got
Right?
it last year.
They used to give it to budding superstars.
Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah,
made
that's
that-
what they-
If I had a vote, I think Kobe White should have got it.
100% Kobe
Real
White should
quick,
have got
like
it.
cross sport comp. I guess like the NFL equivalent is like comeback player of the year. I don't know. If
Oh, they just give it to. Oh my
comeback
goodness.
player of the year.
Hamlin?
Right now, right now the leading player is Sam Darnold. And I saw a tweet that had me cracking up. It's like, what's he coming back from? Being ass?
He just he was just garbage.
He was just
That's it.
bad at the game. Like he was just a bad QB.
Yeah.
Like he didn't come back from anything. No,
Because it used to be like, oh, this guy was injured and he came
Yeah.
back. Now it's just like, oh, he sucked and he's good now. Like it
Yeah.
is pretty. It is pretty.
Gotta change the name.
It's
of
like
the
they're-
award.
Funny
It makes no
enough,
sense.
On the MIP thing, I don't even think Jalen Johnson's the most improved player on his team. DeAndre Hunter's a
Dyson
20 point per game.
Daniels?
Dyson
Dyson
Daniels,
Daniels,
like
yeah.
he might be the third most improved player on his team, and he's the favorite for the award. He's gonna win it most likely. Like it is pretty nasty. Looking on this though, Orlando's not gonna get an All-Star now because I think Suggs win it. I think they would have
With
penciled
Paulo
him in.
Franz, Suggs definitely would have gotten it.
Yeah.
Paulo and Franz would have both made it if they was.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think it would have had like damn near 3.
Yeah.
Paulo Franz, and I think Suggs would have made it too.
He's been playing amazing this
He's
year.
been playing really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if y'all saw that.
The back, it was.
It looks
Yeah, he was like
bro.
writhing in pain.
Non-contact
I did
back
see that. I've never seen that kind of injury.
Never seen
Yeah.
that before. Non-contact back injury fell. Had to get wheelchaired off.
Yeah.
Had they even announced what it was?
No.
I haven't seen anything
Yeah.
on
I
it.
haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen a
I
Sean
haven't
tweet,
seen like
anything.
a
So
timeline, nothing. on
yeah,
it, which is also concerning because that probably means they're putting him in for MRIs.
yeah, and then,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
He's going to a specialist, not just local hospital. That's
Yeah.
which
That
is,
means they're-
prayers up to Jalen Suggs.
But yeah,
Prayers
so
up.
you're right. Magic. I also
They
kind
don't
of
get
expect them to
any-
slip in the standings.
I just thought about this. Did Jalen Brown get in?
Yeah. Oh wait, we didn't count him.
They have.
They count him as a front court player.
Yeah, he's a forward.
So like he's probably gonna get the wild card spot.
Over who though?
Dang.
Who did we
But
say?
but they're
Like,
they're
I
a
ain't gonna-
top.
would
They're
you-
a
They're the
top.
2 seed.
They're the
Like
2 seed, bro.
Where's Jalen?
But
Brown
would
in,
you would you
fan
would you give
Fifth.
Jalen Brown
He's
the
fifth in
All-Star
fan voting.
nod
He's
over
fifth in
like
fan voting.
Mobley?
But bro, he's 5th in fan court.
But I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but that only matters.
Maybe you can't give the Cavs 4 because there's no way he's.
What? They have the best record.
They had the best record in the league.
Okay, but it's no way you could tell me Jaylen Brown should have been on.
They're gonna snub Allen because they've already given him one. It'll be
like
they might snub Allen.
He might got to sit it out.
He's been hooping like they should have 4.
Is Jaylen Brown more deserving of an All-Star than Jared Allen? Like that's a legitimate question. I don't think
I don't think so.
He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it. Like he's the more popular name.
The Celtics 2 All-Stars, but I don't think they should have 2 All-Stars.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Jaylen Brown.
To Derek White.
I don't think Jaylen Brown should be their All-Star if they get 2. It should be Derek White.
It should be Derek
After
White.
what we watched yesterday.
Man, after we watched, it should be Peyton Pritchard. After what we had to say today, man, what? But I don't know. Like really looking at this though, like. Front court locks for the East will be Giannis, Tatum, Cat. I think those are the 3 locks.
I think Mobley's a
and
lock.
Mobley. We throw Mobley in a lock.
So for real, outside of those 4, I don't think there's a single position I'm locked on.
Pascal makes it. I think Pascal makes it.
Are we sure he makes it?
Are we sure he makes it?
Jimmy Butler's not going to be.
Where are the Pacers right now?
Oh, is Bam
All-Star?
I think they're the
Yeah, he's
7th
good.
seed.
No, Bam's had a terrible.
Bam's been horrible. If
Bam's
Bam makes the
been
All-Star game, I'm not watching. I promise you I'm
Bam's
not.
been horrible this year.
It's funny because Tyler Hero
Pacers
might have had an
8 seed?
argument and he's not going to make
What
it.
are
Pacers?
They're the 8th seed.
Let me look up his number.
I mean, Pascal's been like kind of hooping, man.
Do you
No,
give?
he's very
Yeah, I don't know if he can make it now.
I mean, like
All-Star,
Pascal's 27-3 on 62 true shooting.
He's averaging 27.
Where are the Pacers right now in seeding?
They're
They're
8.
eight.
No, 27.
I look up Pascal. I get a pain or something.
I
random.
don't even care.
Man, come on, Pascal.
Pascal,
We
they
need
did you
some
dirty,
more
man.
Everybody,
Yeah, he's averaging. Pascal's averaging 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, I don't know.
I was looking up stats one time. I typed in Brandon Miller shooting.
oh yeah.
That's not what you
I
got.
got no percentages. Nothing.
Oh my god.
We gotta cut that out.
I might get. Nah, we gotta leave that in. We gotta leave that in, man.
Pascal's averaging, so 20 points, 7 boards, 19.8. He might not get in.
I ain't gonna lie.
Might not.
The more we talk about these other players, dude, there's no way. Because I'm not gonna lie, you gotta look
get
at
Jalen
it.
Johnson in.
By the
You
time
gotta
the,
get Jalen Johnson
By the
in,
time
bro.
the Cavs or by the time the All-Star gets announced, the Cavs will probably be still on a historic winning pace. They'll still probably be on pace to win 70 plus.
Yeah.
There's no way you can have a team on pace to win 70 plus.
Is it
They did it with the Hawks too. Remember the Hawks team got all
Yeah,
4 of
they
those
had
All-Stars. So
Kyle Korver.
yeah, Kyle Korver got his
Is it
All-Star
crazy
number.
though that the Cavs are on this historic winning pace, and I don't think anyone spoke about them winning the championship this year.
Because I don't think anyone believe. I don't
No
believe in them personally.
I need to see them. It doesn't mean anything. I want to see them play the Rockets, see what happens. But it doesn't mean anything.
I'm quite personally. I just don't think. I really just don't believe in them as like long-term contenders. I see how that team plays and how they're going to play in the playoffs. Teams are going to dare Mobley to shoot. If Evan Mobley goes in there and hits 4 threes in a game,
Besides,
He's been hitting them 40%. He's 40%.
you just said the name though. Like it's besides who? The Celtics.
but
They
I
just
mean, I
don't
ain't gonna
beat the
lie,
Celtics.
If the only team that can beat you is a team that won, does that not make you a contender?
They should.
It makes you a contender, but like everyone
in your
unanimously agrees,
They-
like
they
this
should be-
team is
they should
going to
be-
beat you.
Would you take if they somehow made the finals and they face
They
the
play the
Thunder?
Thunder.
Oh, Thunder and
No,
5.
Thunder.
I picked the
Yeah,
Thunder.
no.
Thunder and 5. I keep seeing people talk about like, oh, this series would save the NBA. Bro, they gonna get mollywopped by the Thunder. Like I don't.
I ain't gonna lie. I
don't think
want
that's-
to see a healthy healthy Celtics team play a healthy Thunder team. I think that's gonna be
That probably would be. I'm gonna be so
That'd be a
honest
lot
though,
of fun.
man. I still think the Thunder.
That's the Chet.
I want to say this.
Man.
I go
I'm
Boston.
No,
I
no,
go
no, no.
Boston.
I'm not saying I don't think the Thunder make the finals. I'm
Really?
still standing on that
Who do
prediction.
you have beat
I'm
them?
still standing on that one. We'll talk about that on the next pod about if the Thunder are real contenders or not and their issues.
The whole hour.
It might slick me the whole hour. But appreciate you guys for stopping by today. This has been the Right Read podcast. A very, very enjoyable episode for me having our 2 guests on here. Once again, y'all can find Will at Bias Houston on Twitter. We'll make sure we leave all their links in the description. And Bradeaux at Bradeaux NBA in the link in the description. I said Bradeaux, not Brad. Like I don't know this dude. But everybody's links will be in the description. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. Our distributor uploads it there. Turn on your noties. Share with everybody, man. Like share the podcast. And this has been the Right Read podcast. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day from wherever you're watching
Happy
this
New Year.
from. Happy New Year to everybody. Rockets. Nah, we don't have to have a real outro. We don't have to have a real outro. That's been the Right Read. We will catch y'all guys.
Lose it all. Yeah, from film sessions in my room, the swapping starters out for bench platoons. No, I groomed the game the way it grew me, as the exception to the rule, cause I make it hot. A generational talent to some, maybe not. So as I plot on the things that I yearn, seeking the downstream for the win, double home.